So Caicedo is Chelsea's best player. Top 3 holding midfielders on the planet, maybe the best one, I don't know. But every game he does something that makes you just go, what? So Chelsea go to Baku and they fumble the bag, drawing 2-2 against Qarabag. And look, it wasn't a terrible performance from Chelsea. They did take the lead, went behind in the first half, and then were able to rally and come back and draw 2-2. But they could have been better. They were sloppy at times. Definitely some credit going to Qarabag. They put in a very spirited display. So let's go ahead and take a look at what happened in this game, where Chelsea did some of the right things, and how they, frankly, kind of messed it up in the end. Thanks for stopping by, and please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy match breakdowns, tactical analysis, things like that. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these clips. So Chelsea took the lead early on and looked completely good value for it. I think in the first few minutes there were a lot of very good attacks. But if we take this to the beginning, the first thing I want to point out is that Jorel Hato is right here, top of the penalty area, making a very good, clean tackle to win the ball in quite a dangerous position. I point that out because Jorel Hato did have a tough night, but I think he got a lot more criticism than he really deserved. So I'll get to more of him in a little bit, but that was a good tackle from him to get things actually started. Tosin quickly plays it out. Andre Santos with a giant amount of space to turn and go forward. Now he gives it to João Pedro, who actually slows down the attack here and allows Chelsea to rebuild. And it's actually a good thing because Qarabag have 5 guys back. There's not really much that you can do. So João Pedro just gives it to Cucurella and he motors himself inside. And Chelsea actually at this point have got the shape that they want. A back 3, Caicedo in front of them, and 3 attacking midfielders trying to find space between the lines. And what they do is back and forth, looking to see when the option can become available. When it comes back to Tosin, that's when João Pedro can find a little space. In it goes to him, and this is really brilliant from him. Little one-touch swivel to just split the defenders, get Andre Santos in, and bang. Chelsea have a numerical advantage. Esteval on the outside of Andre Santos. The ball's out to him, and he does exactly what he wants to do here of cutting it and shooting on his next touch really quickly, trying to go through the legs of the defender near post. Unsights the keeper. It happens so quickly, it goes right under him. And Chelsea take a lead. Everything was going well, and João Pedro, his influence in the first half was massive. You can see how often Chelsea want to go to him. In all areas of the pitch, too. Top of the box, doesn't matter. He will drop deep and receive, and that really helps. And Jorel Hato, he was giving options to all game long, and it made it easy for Chelsea to sort of just get themselves out of trouble. If he could turn, he would. Sometimes he would just slow things down and also look for big balls. Here, finding Gittins in behind. This is a great weapon to have, a number 10 that can do this and that can also bring others into play. You can see Tyreek George doing almost the only thing he did in the first half. He's not even sure where to run, Tyreek George, and eventually, just because João Pedro needs someone to make a move, he finally gets himself open, actually plays the ball into Andre Santos, who probably should have put his shot on target here and scored. So Chelsea looked pretty good, and all of it was coming through João Pedro, really. Here he is receiving a ball from Cucurella on the inside, switches to the far side. Now, yes, his ball gets cut out right here, but the counter press is good from Chelsea, and then you've got João Pedro joining the attack once again. So here, plays a nice little one-touch ball into Tyreek George, and this is, again, where Tyreek George just could have been better in this first half. And if you just get it into his path, he's going to take a touch right through their defense and probably score. And if he gets nicked, it's a penalty, but the ball's just too far ahead of him. He can't get to it, and the attack breaks down. So that was the good. Jorel Hato did have a tough night. Now, I don't actually think he was bad overall in the evening. I just think he made a few errors that were glaring and had a couple misplaced passes that he probably shouldn't have. But overall, look, he's 19 and he's going to get better. By the way, while we talk about this, Chelsea were scored on with Qarabag down a man because this guy was injured from a Cucurella challenge and not back on the pitch yet. So that's a little embarrassing. But the ball goes over the top here, and Hato just overruns it a tad. And right here, instead of just getting his foot on it and playing it to Sanchez, instead he tries to sort of like dribble it to himself. But he's being outmuscled. I mean, he's just a little bit young and naive in this scenario, loses the ball, falls down. And actually, this ball hits the post, and you're thinking, oh, well, we might have gotten away with it. But first of all, the shot, it's not deflected. And somehow Sanchez just goes flying in one direction and then it goes to the other. So yeah, 1-1. And then the second one would be, another error by Jorel Hato. Just takes too long on the ball. Clearance gets blocked, invites the pressure, and now he's just trying to get to the ball. And look, he's unfortunate. This ball hits his arm. It's definitely a penalty. I mean, he's unlucky in this scenario. They get the penalty. They put it away. It's 2-1. And at this point, you could see Qarabag's energy really start to come out out and what they were all about in this game. And here are just a couple little examples. Ball comes out, little 1-2 right here from the right back, and look how far he goes just running right through the midfield, carrying his team forward. And they did this all match. Anytime anyone had space to run, they went. And that's not just on the ball, but that's also runs in behind, just trying to be very vertical. Here, playing a ball across. Here, Cucurella doing a great job of cutting it out. Here's another example. The center back wins the ball off Esteval, and watch the way he just decides to run through the midfield. Normally, you see someone pass here. He just decides to speed up, and James ends up needing to really foul him to bring him down, because or else he was going to create numerical advantage. You have to understand, teams don't always do this. This requires a lot of energy from players and a decision to go for it like this, and Qarabag, with the crowd that they had in the atmosphere, they really rose to that occasion. But in the second half, Delap would come on and have a massive impact in place of Tyreek George. Because Tyreek George, though he ran around a lot, he really was not involved much. He's not a center forward, and you could see a difference when Delap came out. So here, first of all, Delap just using his strength and power just to bump a guy off the ball, win it, and be able to not just turn, but then play the correct out ball and get Garnacho on the run. So Garnacho goes forward, tries to find Esteval, it gets blocked, he gets it back and just makes it simple. Touch onto his left, finish far corner, and Chelsea are level very early in the second half. And Qarabag's line was pretty high, and so Delap made use of that. Here you got Reece James on the ball, make a run. Does very well to hold the ball up, bring Enzo Fernandez into the play, and Enzo right here just needs to be able to hit this one touch. Instead it gets stuck under his feet, and he tries to side foot it so the goalkeeper able to see it the whole way and saves it and puts it out. This one, Joao Pedro gets the ball, and Delap has curled his run very nicely here. And he just wants this ball played through right in behind. And right here he's onside, but Joao Pedro takes that extra touch right there to get it away, a second one, and then through. And just you can see at that point, Delap is just that little bit offside. And he made these kinds of runs frequently. Here he is again, just sort of running in towards the ball and then creating a little bit of space. Here, another one of that same run by Liam Delap, drops in a little bit, makes the run in behind, so he's onside every single time. And then just the fact that his teammates know to look for him. Here, this ball into Enzo Fernandez, and he just sort of backheels it into the area where Liam Delap is. I saw none of this when Tyreek George was on the field. No one seemed to look for him. He doesn't really have a presence. So Caicedo is Chelsea's best player. Top 3 holding midfielders on the planet, maybe the best one, I don't know. But every game he does something that makes you just go, what? Watch this. So this ball gets hit in the air by him. He's the one that cuts the cross out, goes up in the air. The Qarabag defender gets it first, and it leaks out. Now, Caicedo does a great job of sort of getting to this ball and making the tackle. Now he's on the floor. The defender's right there, and watch what Caicedo does here. He uses his head to scoop the ball away from the defender. He's still got to deal with it, and then he slides and pokes it out of his feet to Fernandez. This is absolutely incredible from Moises Caicedo. So look, the old performance, the result, everything is just okay. I think that there were some parts of the performance that were good, some that were not. And really, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, there's more important games coming up. The next one against Barcelona in the Champions League is huge because it's a home match against a team that is level on points with you. Drawing against a surprise team like Qarabag, who have done very well in this Champions League. They created a fortress at home. The atmosphere was fantastic. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, and I don't think we need to read into a game like this too much. So that's my opinion on this Chelsea Qarabag match. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.